Welcome to the Gladiator Guide, a show where I take a combat sports fighter and I give them an overall rating based on 5 career indicators, with the 5 being strength of resume, professional record, style effectiveness, damage taken, and career milestones. These 5 career indicators will help me judge the fighters overall as a collective. I will give each category a rating out of 20 overall, and once I've completed each one, the totals will be added together, ultimately to reveal said fighter's overall out of 100. To achieve this, I'll be walking you through the fighter's career, grading it as we go. After all of that's been completed, I'll add the fighter to the Gladiator game. Now that you're all caught up, if you enjoy the content, it'd mean a lot if you subscribed and dropped a like. I'm passionate about this channel, so the quality of my content will only go up from here. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to the Gladiator Guide. Zabit Magomedsharipov began his combat sports journey in Russia on the regional Sambo circuit, where his first and only official opponent was former UFC champion Islam Makhachev, at least according to anything I could find online. On his journey to the UFC octagon, Zabit would go 11-1 across 12 fights, only ever losing once by armbar to Igor Igorov. Once he arrived in the UFC, Zabit would continue this dominance, winning every fight in the promotion. Across his 6 fights in the featherweight division, Zabit would pick up 3 submission wins with 3 decisions, with names on that list being Jeremy Stephens and Calvin Kattar. Following his 2019 bout against Kattar, Zabit would go ghost on the sport until 2022, where he announced that he was retiring to pursue being a doctor, going down as one of the biggest what-ifs ever in combat sports history. Due to this sudden halt in his career, we don't have much to cover on his background, so I guess let's just get straight to the stat board. First up, as always, we've got professional record. Zabit's record is 17-1 with no losses on the big stage, a pretty record on paper and just shy from perfect. For these reasons, I'll give Zabit an 18 out of 20. Moving on to style effectiveness, which is hands down Zabit's strongest stat in the Gladiator Guide ranks. Zabit has one of the most unorthodox striking styles ever, mixing in crisp boxing with spinny shit and world-class grappling. If you've never watched him fight and you think I'm glazing right now, go watch his highlights. You will not think that shit anymore. I'm going to give Zabit a 19 out of 20 for style effectiveness. I really do rate him that highly. Moving on, we've got longevity, the last strong score Zabit is going to receive from me right now. He's taken virtually no damage. His biggest weakness was his own cardio, and that never got him in that much trouble. This one is cut and dry. I'll give Zabit an 18 out of 20. Next up, we have a strength of resume, and this is another stat that won't take too long to score because he only has 2 notable wins, Kattar and a sort of old Stephens. Unfortunately, he was never tested further in the octagon and never tested his skills against the top, 3 of the division. And while 6 UFC wins is impressive, it's not enough. So I'll give Zabit a generous 15 out of 20 here. Last up, as always, career accolades. 6 UFC wins and no losses with a 17-1 record is all Zabit has. And it's cool, I guess, but it's not enough in this series. 10 out of 20 here. Tallied up, Zabit is at an 80 out of 100. Obviously not the lowest in the series, but imagine what he could have scored if he kept fighting. This would be a drastically different score. I'm almost positive of it. It's disappointing when you really think about it. But that'll be all for today's episode of the Gladiator Guide. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop a sub, like, comment, all that good shit. And that's going to be all from me. So stay smooth, guys. I'll catch y'all.